and welcome to Bubbles and Breakdowns, a space designed for you to show up as your beautifully imperfect self, where we dive into the good, the bad, and the bubbly. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Katrina. Ashley, do you ever find yourself trapped in an endless loop of replaying maybe an old argument or obsessing over a worst case scenario maybe?
Only every day of my life.
Well, in this episode, Bubbles and Breakdowns, we're talking about stress-inducing rumination. We're going to take a look at why maybe our brains get stuck in that loop and on these exhausting mental tracks. And often rumination can just stem from this misguided survival mechanism. I think this is really interesting. Mm-hmm. And it's triggering a chronic stress within our bodies. So it's like, stop. But we're going to dive into, how do you stop? What are the strategies to help break the cycle and manage our thoughts? So it's not just about achieving a perfect quiet mind overnight. It's going to be little steps of empowering us with an act to reclaim our mental energy, our time, and our peace. So let's discover how stepping away from that loop can open up the door, hopefully, to a calmer, more intentional life. And you know what? That sounds pretty great to me.
Same. Okay, if you have never ruminated in your life, I feel like
you're lucky.
You're so lucky.
Yeah.
And you probably just don't give an SHIT because this is something I feel like that has plagued me for a very, very long time. So maybe let's start with like, what is rumination, right? So it's really just thinking, pondering, obsessing over the same thought over and over and over and over, when you're not really discovering what a resolution for that is.
And it's something that's happened in the past.
Yes.
Like
and
it replaying it.
Replaying.
Yeah.
It could be something that happened the same day, yesterday, 5 years ago.
Yep.
But just something that really, and it can happen anytime. I feel like sometimes it happens to me when I'm trying to go to bed.
Yes.
Sometimes it happens to me in the pickup line at school. Like it's just, and part of it too, the things that I ruminate on, you tell me the same, is usually when it's something that I think I did wrong.
100%.
Or I feel, is this person mad at me?
Yes.
And I think getting older, I tend to ruminate less because I think I'm starting to not care. But the things that I care about is just like, no, this person doesn't know me that well.
They're not trying to.
Yes. And maybe, I'm assuming they're thinking one thing. Half the time, if this obsesses my thoughts enough and I talk to someone about it, they're like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Right.
And you're like, oh my God, I spent so much time
yes,
obsessing or ruminating over this fact when I'm in the clear.
So it's so interesting because what you just described, number one, couldn't relate more, which is it's replaying what we did, but usually it's replaying what we did and how it affects other people or what they think about us or how they feel about us. Are they still our friend? Did I just have a career limiting move at work? Am I ruining my reputation? It's all of this like self-doubt and
like highly critical
and writing narratives
yes.
about what the other person, they think I'm a total idiot now. I can't do my job, or that I don't care about them because I snapped at them when I was PMSing, or it can be so many different things. And here's the crazy part. When I was looking into this about, I've known rumination as a problem for myself, for my husband for many, many years.
Right.
It's that our brains mistake it for solutioning. By thinking through it, our brains are going, okay, if I think about this enough, it's going to fix itself, or I'm going to think through it enough that it's going to like solve the problem.
So
but
like
it's
a
not
survival instinct tactic.
It's like your brain can't reconcile. And so your brain is trying to make sense of it. It's trying to fix it. And the fact of the matter about rumination, it's like, spoiler alert, it's in the past. You can't change it.
Done and done.
It's done and done. And so there's people who I think start to really work on this rumination, and then they'll say, okay, what's done is done. I'm going to move on. And then there's other people that ruminate a lot longer, right? And so when we look at this, that problem solving illusion, like our brains think they're fixing something, they're actually just exhausting us. Our brain is just exhausting us, stealing resources, sleep, like you said, like, it's 1:00 in the morning. What a perfect time to replay the last 3 years of events.
It's rumination time. Rumination hours. Let's do this. I think the other thing that I do too is at this time of night, sometimes we get intrusive thoughts. And I feel like they're linked, right? So like intrusive thoughts are just things that are scenarios maybe that can never happen. Maybe could happen.
Maybe could.
But it's just more that, again, I think it's something for me that like scares me. So I'll think about going on a vacation. Are we going to be safe? You know what I mean?
And
Stuff
that's
like
anxiety, because that's actually in the future.
Yes.
So like rumination is the past and anxiety is the future, and all of it is bad.
All of it.
You know? So like when we think about examples of things we ruminate about, where you said some of them in the beginning, I'll share one, and then I'm interested to know, a consistent one for me is that I say something in a meeting, and you can always tell when you say something in a meeting when either people like pick up the thing and they go with it and then they like reinforce it through continuing to talk about it, or it wasn't a good thing to say and no one agrees with you when they literally change the subject or they talk about something completely different. And moments in the past where the latter has happened, where they're like, and whatever Katrina said made no sense, and then they like want to move on. I'm always like, am I alone? Like I start to think like, am I alone on this? Like, did I say it wrong? Because, and what that does for me, Ashley, is it triggers this like, is my thinking broken? Like, is my critical eye and my critical brain not working correctly? Those are the types of thoughts I start having. And it never is about, oh, maybe, like the flip side is that other person really just wanted to get their point across.
Right.
I don't ever write that narrative, And so instead it's like all of this spotlight and this magnifying glass goes back on ourselves. And that's the worst part about rumination, is because you literally, when you're ruminating, you are worst case scenario for whatever. You don't know how people felt. You don't know how they're reacting to you. And you are thinking the worst.
For sure. Well, and I feel like a lot of times too, I've done that when I was in the working world, but it was like if I made a misstep or if I'll get this to you by end of day, and then you wake up and you're like, oh
Whoops.
my gosh, I did not get that email out, or just because we are overloaded with so much.
Right.
And I think it comes into this like, not facade, but like of who we think we are on the outside. Whenever that gets hurt, affected, trampled on, we're going to worry. And I don't know. I'm so curious. Like, is this a type A person thing?
You know what? I think it is type A perfectionism masquerading as, for some reason, we just think it's like, I don't know, fruitful.
Right.
And I do think there is some rumination.
And to your point, we're not solutioning.
You're not solutioning, but also it's like, you can't solution maybe with your thoughts. I mean, yes, I think you can arrive to a point where you have to think through something and then you have to go, I can't fix this without a third party.
Right.
Or I can't fix this, period. And if you're not getting to those places, then you're just playing it over and over and over. And I think to that point, Ashley, it's like kind of addictive.
Yes,
because
it is.
You're like, if I think about this long enough, if I feel bad about this long enough, if I try to reconcile this long enough, then it's going to make the importance that like shows that I care and that I'm a good person, and I'm going to let this bother me because I'm a good person.
On the flip side too, when we go back to like, this is the evolutionary of it all, maybe we're trying to save ourselves from doing that again.
Yeah.
Because we know how it makes us feel.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like, okay, I'm going to think this through to say, how could I have done this different next time? And a lot of the times it's stuff that doesn't affect you surviving on this planet.
Yes.
Right? It is, at least because we're lucky, right? We've got shelter, we've got food. So like back thinking of like, how are we going to survive? Right? This is more ourself.
Yes. And how we're perceived.
And maybe we're just like, I don't want to get here again. So let me think about this.
Yeah. It's almost like
to the nth degree at 3 a.m. to figure out how I can better present myself.
I love that theory. I mean, I bet there's some psychologists out there that could like reinforce. I mean, it makes sense to me because you're kind of like, I don't know, waterboarding yourself of being like, don't ever do that again. Don't put your foot in your mouth like that again. Or, ooh, really touchy subject. Don't bring that up with your friend again. You saw how they reacted. Like, fill in the blank. But the other thing I would say is, yes, there's maybe a positive there with what you just said. Like maybe it helps us be better people.
It doesn't feel positive, but I'm just saying maybe.
but then also I do think there is something to that, because if you've ever done something that you have regret or you feel bad about, I, for one, will literally say in my head, oh, I never want to do that again. I never want to feel like this again.
Yes.
And I think that that is also a way to like stop the rumination.
Totally.
Okay, lesson learned. I don't want to ever do that again.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like this. But what I'll say is like the stress inducing part of it is huge.
Huge.
Because when you're ruminating, I'll share some of my tics.
Yeah.
I don't know how you operate. Some people get tight shoulders, headaches, like da 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 da. I pick my cuticles.
Oh.
I'm anxiety and rumination.
For some reason, I'm picking them right now.
Right. And I also do something that only one other friend of mine that I've known in my life also did. And we'd always joke with each other. So we'd like slap each other's hands away, bite the inside of my cheek. And like, it's called stimming. It's like stimulation or whatever. But when we're having difficult thoughts, it's starting to physically manifest is the point. It's coming up as tension, stimming, expressing in our physical bodies. And so it's not just thoughts.
Right.
And I think that the coolest thing about healthcare and like clinical space right now is the most successful doctors are the ones who are living in the clinical world and the psychology world, because brains and bodies are connected.
They are.
And so this is why I'm like, okay, rumination, bad for you. What are some things that you feel in your body? Like when you are ruminating?
100%. I feel like I've always been the tight shoulder person, like all the time, like all my stress, all my tension is here, which leads to my TMJ.
Oh, you have,
and
like,
I clench my teeth.
You do.
Yes. So it used to be worse in college. So it's gotten better, but I've always been a clencher, which then leads to headaches too. So it's all that stress. And now you can see why anytime your body is in this fight or flight stress mode, it's bad for you.
So bad.
You know what I mean? And I think there's some stimulation that like we can think about things, but like, how do we break this cycle?
Right.
How do we get out of this? Because it's not okay.
No, I agree.
You know, and I think there's things where it's like I've said, as I get older, I think I mentioned this every episode, I'm more confident in myself.
Right.
I think I've started to tend to ruminate a little less, but maybe my worries are becoming a little more frivolous, if that even makes sense.
Well, and I think that's actually more healthy.
Yeah.
You know, like if they're lighter worries than they are these like catastrophic, self-deprecating, I'm never going to have friends type of worries. Yeah, that's so interesting. And I think when I was reflecting on rumination and the physical toll, I read this book years ago and I didn't even think of it until we were just chatting. It's called The Telomere Effect. So I'm going to get like a little scholarly, a little sciencey for all my science nerds out there. So our little cells in our body have these little end caps on them. Think of a shoelace with a plastic tube on the end of it to keep it from fraying, right? So our cells have these. They're called telomeres. And there's lots of things in our lives that can shorten the length of our telomeres. So you think about a shoelace when it gets worn out and those things break away. Think of your telomeres getting shorter and your cells dying, becoming senescent cells. So essentially, it can be bad food, you know, it can be lunch meat, it can be cigarettes, it can be alcohol, all of those things. But one of the biggest is stress, and particularly rumination. So in that book, Ashley, it was highlighting replaying thoughts over and over, negative thoughts, ruminating had a directly negative tie to the health and vitality of our cells.
We're killing ourselves.
Yes. And this is where I'm like, this is why right now, the importance of tying what we think and what we do in our bodies is so, so important, because everyone maybe rolls their eyes when people say we are our thoughts. But like, we are our thoughts. We literally have so much control over our physical body by what we think. And it's hard sometimes because you're like, well, I can't control my thoughts. And it may feel that way, but it just takes a lot of diligence and a lot of like this whole topic of neuroplasticity of the younger you are, the easier it is to kind of like reframe the way you think. Versus now when you get older, it does get harder. So you then have to be more intentional. So I think we've got some ideas
Totally.
that we looked into and we could share, you know, how to start kind of like reprogramming rumination particularly and try to isolate it and contain it versus letting it creep into every night and keeping us up.
Absolutely. And I think too, some of these also work for not just ruminating things that are in your mind, but also for challenges that occur that are very real. So I think that's something to call out too, because this first one, I just think of one of my best girlfriends in the world. So this is tip 1 is the worry window. Okay. So give yourself permission to ruminate, to worry for 15 minutes a day at a specific time. Set that timer. And then you're done.
And you're a timer gal.
I love timers.
So like, I kind of like this where it's like, I finally have a minute.
Totally.
I'm going to like mentally empty out my garbage.
And I think too, with so much going on and we are so scheduled, timers always help me focus when I need to focus.
Right.
It helps me not be like, oh, I have to look at the clock every 5 minutes because I don't know when 15 minutes is. Right.
Right.
This is key. And the other reason that I bring this up too about is like, I have a girlfriend who gives herself a day to wallow.
Oh.
And this reminds me of this, where it's like, give yourself permission, give yourself time. It's not healthy either to say, just like, don't think about it. Don't think about it. Because then you're going to think about it more.
Right. Yeah,
I also think we are conditioned that way. Right. So give yourself that worry window to say, I can worry about this. But guess what? Don't let it stunt your day.
Right. Don't let it inhibit you from
getting
moving,
out there,
exercising, doing positive things, because it can literally make you just want to sit on a couch and feel sorry for yourself.
Exactly. And I just think that's really important.
I love that. I think it's really important if you just need to get it out. I also think in that worry window for people who like to journal and stuff, I think writing things down, something about getting it out of our heads on paper.
Yes.
That says, you know, I can't believe I did XYZ. And then you're like, oh, well, I can believe it. Yeah. And then, you know, like you get it somewhere else out of your head. I don't know. I think there's some power in that too.
And I think sometimes a lot of the things I think, and I don't know if this is just lately or this has been my whole life, I forget so quickly.
Yeah, moving on.
So to be able to come back though and really see how my thoughts were and be like, oh, you've grown from this, or this is really not that big of a deal is important too.
I love it. So the next tip, so tip 1, worry window.
Worry window.
Make the time, worry your hearts out, get it all out there. The next one is shifting our thinking into why to how. This one is so cool because why is a victim mindset. Why did this happen to me? Why do I keep doing this? And it's very self-persecuting. And it's like, why me? Why me? Does anyone really like to be why me?
No.
I mean, like, that's kind of sad, you know?
Yeah.
But we do it. So instead, change it to how. So this is about taking something that feels very like reactive. I'm feeling bad about myself. Why me? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Into how can I handle this better next time?
I love that.
And I love this because you can't change the past.
Nope.
But you can then commit to yourself how you're going to move forward in the future. So instead of shifting your brain into this why abstract, because by the way, I don't know about you, but when our little kids ask us why, you get to a point that you literally say, I don't know why. And the answer typically is, I don't know why. Oh, maybe I was hungry and I just said something bad. Like maybe there's an answer, but not all the time. So instead, turning it into how, that's like tangible. Yes. We can be thoughtful. We can make a plan.
And you're trying to better yourself, right?
Totally. And that goes back to what you're saying in the beginning. Like, do we do this so that we don't do it again?
Right.
Right.
Exactly. All ties together. All right. And tip 3, we're calling this the circuit breaker. Shake stuff up.
Yes.
Okay. There's so many techniques and just changing your scenery to get you out of that mindset.
Yeah,
right?
Go for a walk.
Oh my gosh.
Go water your garden.
It is so important in anytime you feel overwhelmed or stressed, changing up that environment. I remember when I used to work from home. I'm like, I work from home. I sleep at home. I make dinner in my home.
Yeah.
I wasn't leaving my home. And I'm like, I got to get out of here. Seriously. I'm
Get
like,
me the hell out
I'm
here.
like, what? I leave to go to the grocery store for 20 minutes or whatever. Like, it is so important to be like, because I think you also start to associate spaces with your mindset.
Yes.
You need to break that apart.
Yes.
You need to take some deep breaths, something to distract you, something to put on a song. We talk about music, how important that is. That is a huge one. Break your environment, physically, emotionally, with a stimulant that changes your brain waves.
I love it. And what I just was thinking about in here was something that is energizing, like moving the energy, sitting on the same couch, you're going to feel those same feelings. So it's like, even just stand up and move rooms. If you're ruminating in the middle of the night, I'm guessing, I don't know why I just thought of this. Maybe this is where the midnight snack comes from. People are like, I need a peanut butter jelly sandwich all of a sudden at 12:30 in the morning, but like, think about it. Then you're getting like a little treat, dopamine. I mean, I'm not going to encourage middle of the night eating, but like, if you're really having a difficult time sitting in your bed, mentally trapped, like, don't stay there.
No.
I think that's wonderful.
Totally.
So I guess the thing about this is that breaking this habit is not going to be a perfect thing for either of us.
No.
I would say we both identified that maybe we've gotten better at this, maybe more self-forgiving or quicker to move on over the years. It's going to be incremental. So if you are out there listening and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm the worst ruminator and I don't know why I do it and I can't stand this about myself, have grace, but also like think about the tips that we shared and maybe pick one.
Totally.
Pick one
and
to
just
try.
think too, we're always strapped for time. Do we want to waste that time not being present? Because I think that's what happens. Like you said, we're either stuck in the past ruminating or we're stuck in the future
planning,
catastrophizing.
And we'll talk about that in the next episode, I think, about catastrophizing, because I think we both have a tendency to do that. Maybe one of us more than the other.
Maybe not.
But I think the coolest thing too is that once you start to change and how you are having grace with yourself, you can affect people around you, your spouses, your friends. You can be very like, oh, I know how you feel. It invokes empathy, and it creates space for you to say like, don't worry about that. Let it go. Oh my gosh, you're such an incredible person. So what? You said the wrong thing. Move on. That doesn't change the fact that you're a wonderful person.
No.
So that whole ripple effect, I think, is really cool too, because we all deserve somebody egging us on and forgiving us when sometimes we can't forgive ourselves.
Totally. Stop the rumination.
Yes.
Start the growth. I don't know.
Yeah. Stop the rumination. Get up and keep living.
Seriously.
Because at the end of the day, and get some damn sleep. I think that's the other thing too. So
if someone knows how, tell me. Yes. I can't.
Then there's one little quote that I thought was kind of cute. As I was planning this episode, it said, "Your thoughts are a neighborhood you visit. It is not the house that you have to live in." So I love that, because it's like, okay, I'm just visiting this thought. Like, these thoughts are not me. Let's not have them become us. And instead, let's just have it, just stop by in a little neighborhood.
Your visit is only 15 minutes.
Yep. For the worry window. And then we're moving on.
And then get that snack.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, I loved this. I think it was very helpful, at least just to talk about that. Everybody does this.
Yes.
We think. If you're not, let us know, because we're not worthy. But to relate, I think, especially in this time of our lives when we are perfectionists and we do take things to heart, they kind of affect sometimes how we also function.
Yeah.
It's good to share that, hey, this happens.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect. But guess what? You got to snap out of it.
Yeah.
I think that's really
beautifully put.
Beautiful.
And remember, everybody, after every breakdown,
don't forget the bubbles. Well, if you're loving us, please follow us on all the socials, Instagram. Send us a DM to tell us how much you love us. Listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll see you next time.
And don't ruminate.
No.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye.